Everybody keeps saying Shane van Gisbergen just isn't ready for NASCAR ovals yet, that he's still learning. To think the real story is much bigger than that. Because the more evidence you look at, the harder it becomes to ignore one uncomfortable possibility. SVG may not be getting the same level of support as the people around him. Let's be real for a second. This is a guy who arrived in NASCAR and instantly shocked the entire motorsports world. Chicago street course. Dominated. Sonoma. Fast all weekend. Watkins Glen. Dangerous every single lap. Whenever the car turns both left and right, SVG suddenly transforms into one of the scariest drivers in the field. The talent is obvious. Nobody debates that anymore. But then the series heads to an oval, and suddenly the entire operation around him starts collapsing. Daytona started with promise before ending in disaster. Talladega looked competitive until another wreck ruined the day. Bristol, completely invisible. Martinsville showed small improvements, but still nowhere near what fans expected from a driver with his level of racing IQ. And at some point, you have to stop blaming only the driver and start questioning the system around him. Because here's where things start getting strange. Connor Zilisch, the teenage superstar Trackhouse clearly sees as the future of the organization, continues receiving massive attention despite struggling in the results column. Huge social media promotion, sponsor spotlight, prime media coverage, big future of NASCAR, headlines everywhere. Meanwhile, SVG, the driver actually delivering results for the team, somehow feels like the forgotten piece of the project. That's what makes fans suspicious. On paper, SVG has outperformed expectations. He already has wins. He's shown raw speed. He's improved on ovals compared to last season. Yet the energy restarting further back than expected after green flag pit cycles. On superspeedways, where position means everything, those tiny differences completely destroy your race. Then there's the setup side of things. SVG himself hinted in interviews that the team still has more speed to find on ovals. That sounds harmless at first, until you realize drivers rarely say that publicly unless frustration already exists internally. Usually, comments like that mean conversations have happened behind closed doors for weeks, maybe months. And honestly, some races almost looked like the number 97 was chasing balance problems nobody else in the organization had. Mid-run handling issues. Cars suddenly becoming unstable in traffic. Setups falling apart during longer runs. It wasn't every race, but it happened enough times for fans to start asking questions online. What really pushed the conspiracy theories into overdrive was the constant comparison with Connor Zilisch. Even while struggling for top finishes, the rookie still seemed to receive stronger PR support from Trackhouse itself. Every headline focused on potential. Every social media post hyped the future. Meanwhile, SVG would quietly put together solid performances with almost no attention. And fans absolutely noticed it. But the biggest issue may not even be inside Trackhouse. It may be Chevrolet itself. Everyone in NASCAR knows Hendrick Motorsports sits at the top of the Chevy food chain. When new developments arrive, Hendrick usually gets the best version first. That's simply how elite manufacturer alliances work. So if Trackhouse already feels slightly behind Hendrick in overall support, then drivers lower in the team's internal priority system could feel that disadvantage even harder. And suddenly, the rumors about SVG exploring future options start making a lot more sense. Imagine being a driver who already proved he can win races in NASCAR despite limited experience. Imagine feeling like there's still another level available with stronger engineering support. Of course, rumors would start connecting him to bigger organizations. Any smart driver would at least listen. Now imagine SVG in fully elite equipment. A proper top-tier oval program. The same level of weekly support given to championship-caliber NASCAR veterans. That possibility alone should scare the entire garage. Because even with all the chaos around him, SVG continues showing flashes of brilliance that most drivers can't replicate. And here's the crazy part. Statistically, his early Cup results compare surprisingly well against several major NASCAR stars during their first starts. That's what makes this entire situation feel so strange. Drivers with far less immediate success often received years of patience and investment. Yet SVG still feels like someone fighting to fully earn trust inside the system. Maybe none of this is intentional. Maybe it's simply growing pains. Maybe Trackhouse is balancing a difficult future between developing a teenage prospect and helping an international superstar adjust to NASCAR's hardest tracks. That's entirely possible too. But fans aren't stupid. People watch the races. People compare pit stops. People notice setup differences. And once those questions start spreading online, they become impossible to silence. At the end of the day, one thing is crystal clear. Shane van Gisbergen is not lacking talent. Nobody wins at the highest levels of motorsport by accident. Nobody walks into NASCAR and instantly scares experienced Cup veterans without having something special. The speed is real. The racecraft is real. The potential is absolutely real. So now the question becomes simple. Is SVG truly struggling because ovals are still new to him? Or is Trackhouse racing quietly, putting more energy into building the future around Connor Zilisch, while SVG fights with whatever remains? Because if Shane ever gets equal equipment, equal priority, and a fully optimized oval program, the rest of NASCAR might have a serious problem coming.